Oh, Lord. Let me leave it off. We'll leave off the crown. Dash, say something.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for tuning in today. This is Queen Mother Speaks, and in a moment, we'll be giving you our opening intro. We're just taking a moment to get a few things set up. We hope you don't mind. Okay, so here we go with that one and only intro. Where is it? Have you been enjoying your holiday season? We have. Here we go. Hello, and thank you again. Happy, super happy New Year. We're going to give the show over to Nana. She will be your host for today. Queen Mother will be popping in and out, and I'll be working the chat room. Thank you, Nana.
Well, welcome. And as she said, happy 2024. I'm excited to be here with you all today.
Happy 2024. Happy 2024.
We have got an exciting show for you today. And let me see, can we bring it? There we go. Hey, the gangs are here.
Happy New Year.
Good morning, Ron. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Good morning. This is
blessed
in the
blessed continuum 2024.
So, Rakaya, where are you this morning?
I am in the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania. I am in Pennsylvania, packing up to go to New York to funeralize my mom homegoing celebration. It's going to be a shing-ding going down in Brooklyn Thursday and Friday. My mom wanted a party. She did not want no cry. No, it's going to be a party. It's going to be a homegoing celebration.
That's what we did. We threw a party. Yes. My cousin, when she passed, it was a party. And I am so happy that you and I had the opportunity to record your mom. And now you'll have the clips anytime you'd like to hear her, or we want to hear her voice and words of wisdom. So everybody, welcome. I'm really excited to be here this morning. And I want to shout out to all of our audience, wherever you are. I want you to hit that like, share, and comment button, whether you're watching us on YouTube or on Facebook or on Twitter or on Instagram and our other social media platforms. We're happy to have you with us today. So, Ra, did you get your script?
I'm working on bringing it up right now. I apologize, but I'm
not going to be with us this morning.
Oh, ADISA is not going to be on?
No problem. We've got Tabbachayah, and I am really excited to have him here. So if you all would like to greet our guest at this time, go right ahead. And our viewing audience.
Brother Shabaka, welcome to the show. Brother Shabaka, it's your turn.
Thank you. So I go by.
Let's get his name right.
And say hello to our viewing audience this morning. Let us know your name and that you're going to be playing for us today, baby. Tell us what you're going to be playing.
Okay. Well, my name is Tabbachayah. I'm from North Carolina originally. I grew up in Fayetteville, North Carolina, close to Fort Bragg. I moved out here to Kenya with my family, my mother, my grandmother, my wife, and my twin boys. We wanted to feel more at home. We wanted to feel more of an environment where we could raise our children more say than just for ourselves, but for the children. We wanted them to be around a certain type of culture. So we came to Kenya, and Kenya surpassing my expectations. Today, I'm playing Tibetan Bowl.
Okay, and a little later on, he'll tell us a little bit about what that is. But I want to just take this moment and go back and reflect with Coach Michaiah.
Queen Dash, don't you want him to give us like a 2-minute intro? Start it out.
Well, actually, he just did that, and since ADISA, our other guest for today, will not be on the show, the main event of the show will be Healer Edward Bell, and he will be bringing us the sounds of the Healing Tibetan Bowls, and we'll talk about the essence of the bowls, why we need to do the bowls, what does the bowls do for you, and then he will tantalize us with that actual sounding of the Tibetan healing bowls. So before we get to him, I want to move back a little bit, if I may. And Ron, I want to go back to you in terms of mom and the transition. I will say to you that you, my dear, have given me strength doing mom's homegoing. Because every time I speak to you, you're so upbeat. You know, Queen Mother's calling to say, put your head here on this shoulder. Well, let's just be with each other. But you've been very strong and moving forward. And I thank you for that. Now, if your being strong is to act strong versus being strong, take a look at that. But just want you to know, darling, that you can be any way that you want to be or need to be, because we are living in a time where there's just so much going on. So much going on. And so I want to say that may mom rest in peace. Like Nana, I'm grateful that I got a chance, that we got a chance to record her on the show and doing her birthday and everything. So we have some history with her, and for that we are most grateful. To say a little bit about Michael ADISA Anderson, who is being on the show today, let me just tell you what's going on in his life right now. He's living in Long Beach, California, and he is actually the caretaker of his mother, who will be 100 years old on February 12th. So they are very delicately and easily handling her and being with her. And even though we had planned for him to be on the show, and he was actually planning to be here, mom wasn't feeling so well. So the first commitment, of course, is to the family. So that's why he's not with us today. But he is a storyteller extraordinaire like none other. So I think you'll be happy to hear from him when he is available to be on the show. And we're asking him if it's possible for us to record mom. But right now, the city of Los Angeles and the city of Long Beach, everybody wants their time with mama right now. So I told him I'll take whatever we can get. And if we don't get to record her, it's fine, because we've actually had her be on the show, not performing, but being there. You know, I've had her to come into the studio. That was fun for her to do. So ADISA, thank you so much. Happy New Year to you. Hello to our sons, who are my godsons. And I'm just happy to be here today. Over to you, Ra.
Tabbachayah Edward Bell. I Am Well Holistic was founded by 4-generation family that has traveled all the way from the East Coast of North America to share their experience in natural healing with the wellness community. The lead wellness advisor, Khadisha, has an impressive background in the healing sector. With a profound knowledge of the body, she's offered many of her clients restorative guidance to eradicate ailments such as diabetes, cancer, high blood pressure, lupus, and much more, being cleared by the medical professionals. Quadisha is a certified herbalist and group fitness instructor. She's also a specialist in military fitness and fitness nutrition. Quadisha has even traveled all
if I
over.
may, Coach, if I may, Coach, you may remember that Queen Odessa has been on the show before, and Tabaka is actually the son who makes up part of the organization that's called I Am Well Holistic. Do you
Right.
remember when she came on?
Yes.
Yeah, so just give
Yes,
you
I
some
do.
reference. Yes.
Yes, I
Yes,
do.
very well. Back to you.
And she's a certified herbalist and group fitness instructor. She's also a specialist in military fitness and fitness nutrition. Queen Hadisha has even traveled all over the U.S. training hundreds of people, including U.S. Army soldiers. Her work truly speaks for itself. Another of our outstanding wellness advisors is Tabbachayah.
No.
Tabak,
Habaka. You pronounce it for
Tabaka.
her. Pronounce it for her, my brother. It's okay for us to get
Tabaka.
it right.
I said Tabaka.
Okay.
Tabaka, who is well versed in the science of the body and its correlation with food and the environment. With the extensive background in history and anatomy, he has been successful in assisting our previous clients in their healing journey. Tabaka is also specialized in fitness training, from calisthenics to yoga training. I am well holistic is founded on the core principle that body has the ability to heal itself completely without synthetic medical intervention. And I agree. Our mission is to educate our clients on their current state of wellness and guide them from a state of dis-ease into a state of being at ease, both physically and emotionally. Today, Tabaka will speak to us on the healing benefits of the Tibetan bowl and why this is something for you to consider. Nana and Ra will share comments from the viewers on their gratefulness for making through the crossover. Welcome. Blessed New Year to all of you.
Before we go there, Tabaka is going to come to us. And after he has come to us, then we'll give you some of those resolutions that people have sent in of their plans for the new year.
Okay. Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
Well, go ahead.
So very well. So, Tabaka, let me just offer a public apology for the mispronunciation of the name. And let me say to you that what we normally do is we come together before the show and make sure we have everything flat. But given that it's a holiday and everybody's out of pocket, a lot of things haven't been happening, that's what's going on. So we do know that his name is Tabaka. Okay, that is the name. And he will be teaching us and showing us about the Tibetan, Tibetan, the Tibetan healing bowls. And first he's gonna, even though we've given his bio, there may be some things he wants to share with us about his entire work with the I Am Holistic Wellness Center, or he may want to share on his existence in a place called Kenya. He's only been here a few months. Okay, so over to you, Tabaka. Thank you for being on the Queen Mother Speak Show. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Shalom, peace. As far as Kenya, my journey here has been wonderful. Like I said before, it has passed all expectations. Kenya is up and coming. It's got a connected community of enlightened people, enlightened individuals who uplift your spirit and bring positive energy into your life. As far as with I Am Well Holistic, I normally specialize in sciences of breaking down what's going on in the body. So I look at the body from, I guess, a medical point of view, and then I explain to the client what's going on in time and space. I also I deal a lot into meditation, spirituality, and breath work, yoga. So these are some things I do with our clients. Would you like me to go into the Tibetan bowl or wait for that?
Well, we're only 15 minutes into a 45-minute show.
I have
so
a
I want
question.
you to have your way.
Okay. All right. What's your
I'd like to
question?
know, how did you get into the Tibetan bowls? How did you get into the Tibetan bowls?
I've always had a draw to Indian culture. I have a great grandmother who's actually from India, and so I think that drew me to it. I've always been interested in yoga, Hindu scriptures. It was like my little secret fetish or my secret crush. You know, I kept away from the world, but so I would say around my grad school years, I was in seminary, and I had a friend who did a lot of yoga, and we would go and me and my buddies would go to his house, and we would sit, we would chant, play the guitar, and he would bring out the Tibetan bowl. So I got my exposure to the Tibetan bowl. It was through it was a white guy, but he was one of my friends back in grad school. He introduced me to a lot of Eastern modalities.
Okay. And where did you go to grad school?
I went to grad school in Florence, Alabama. Florence, Alabama. It was called
I know that was
Heritage.
a change from North Carolina.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was just so redneckish out there.
Was it a huge difference from North Carolina? Yes.
It was. Black people were less integrated into the town. It was pretty much controlled by the church. The town was controlled by the Church of Christ, and so it was heavily segregated. And the black people were all congregated into one part of town where there was really no access to roads or infrastructure. So they kind of didn't mingle into the economics of the town. So yeah, it was, you know, anybody who was black, it was very hard to get a business out there. But out there, I met some of my greatest friends I ever met that led me to Africa. So Alabama was my portal to Africa.
And
yeah,
you've actually spent some time in you spent some time in Ghana.
Yes, I have.
Tell us about that.
Okay, I went to Ghana in 2017. I was coming out of school, and I didn't really know what was going on at the time politically. As a young man, I was confused about Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, and I really didn't understand what would come out of the 2017 election. And so I hightail out of America just to see was there anything in the world worth doing. And so I went over there with a business. It was called Ghana Research, and what we did, we gave tours to people. We went through Ghana and we just videotaped everything raw. Like we went to restaurants on the side of the street, kiosks. We went into the villages. We went into the just anywhere African Americans weren't going. We were pushing into these places, and then we were showing it. So there was African Americans there, but they weren't showing it. So we wanted to show the just like the street side of Ghana. And so we had over 20,000 people viewing our videos at certain times. And so we were out there for 9 months, and then I came back to America. Right now, my friends, they just came back from Ghana. I went out there with my brothers. His name is Titus and Tyree. They're twins, and they're still going back and forth to Ghana today.
What part of Ghana were you in?
I was in Accra. Kumasi, Cape Coast, and Teshima.
Okay. So you got a chance to really experience the country. As you may know, Ghana has become very special to me because I lived in Ghana for a few years, attending the University of Ghana, and met a lot of African students, began to indulge in the culture a little bit. Okay. And it's a place that I extremely love. And we all know the story of Queen Mother, that years later, I wind up finding my husband. In a place called Ghana. Okay, Habakkuk, I want to ask you in reference to your healing work, the healing work, and we got to deal with the Tibetan bowls as long as we want to and need to. All right, but I want to hear you talk to us about the results of what people have seen and felt once they've actually taken the time to allow the sounds of the Tibetan bowls to sink in. What they've, how is it affecting them? You know, there's all kind of drugs on the market, and there's also the vitamin supplements on the market and other products. But I want you to tell us how the listening, taking time to soothe yourself inside of the bowls can do something for you. And I can also speak on my own experience with the Tibetan bowls because it is a part of my daily routine now.
Okay. I definitely want to hear about this.
Okay. With the Tibetan bowls, what the fundamental application of it is the sound resonance of it. What you'll get from the Tibetan bowl is an echo that constantly replays in your head, and it brings about a certain level of peace and calm inside the body and the mind that allows for you to detach, I guess, from the other noise that is going around outside and inside. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you just got out of traffic. You just got off the phone while you was in traffic, and you just had a conversation about, some report has to be done at the job, and and all these things are in your head. Plus the traffic is bad. So when you get home, you're still replaying your last experience as you walk into a new experience. And people, we tend not to pay attention to this because it's normal. It's normal for you to constantly have experience throughout your day layering on top of each other. And then what you really pay attention, each time you enter into a different room or a different atmosphere, the last experience hasn't really cleared itself. It hasn't, you haven't cleared out the last experience. So with the Tibetan bowl, what my clients are realizing and other practitioners are realizing is that the Tibetan bowl allows you to clear the experience, wipe your mind, the last experience, so that you can move to the next experience.
Wow.
Let's have him go ahead and
how long did you have to train? I'm sorry.
Normally with the Tibetan bowl, I can go for 45 minutes to an hour, but sometimes I just need to play it for like 5 or 10 minutes. It's situational, and so pretty much like whatever can snap you back into reality faster is how long, it's about the speed in which you can snap back into reality.
So normally a session is what, 30 minutes or an hour?
It's about 30 minutes to 45 minutes.
Okay. When I've had about maybe 4 or even 5 Tibetan bowls experience right here in Nairobi, Kenya. I've had that. I've been fortunate to have that experience. And it was an event that lasted for like maybe 5 hours. It was a group of us. And we started out outside on the grass on a mat, doing stretches and breathing and things of that nature. And they talked to us about the bowls. Okay. And then we had some exercises where we do things with each other. Then we move from the outside grass to inside the house, again, bringing your mat with you. And as we were inside in our mats, and they began to deal with the bowls, the different sounds from the bowls. And they were like really, really right in your ear, right in your consciousness. You couldn't escape it. It wasn't like it was too loud and it was annoying, but you could just feel it. When they would make the sound with the bowl, you could feel it inside of your being, inside of your being. And they had us to lay certain ways while we were listening to the sounds, the healing sounds from the Tibetan bowls. There were certain places on our body that we were to touch. We were also given some type of, how shall I call it, anointing oil, but the anointing oil was more like a menthol fragrance to it. So even that puts you in another realm of being. And at some point, we got a chance to talk to each other about what we were experiencing. And then they broke us off into pairs. And then the pairs switched from one person to the other. So you could get to hear how other people were experiencing the Tibetan bowls. But for the most part, everybody had a very personal, electrifying experience. And a lot of it they couldn't even explain, including myself. So let's see what's going to happen today when we listen to the sounds of the Tibetan healing bowls. Thank you.
Okay. So I can start off with a tone. It's a 4096 C note. It's a tone. And normally I normally don't start just playing the bowls. What I do is
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I hope everybody's able to hear that clearly. The Tibetan bowls are really good for bringing you into the present
Loud
moment.
And clear.
Okay. Very, very good for stopping the thinking. Thinking actually is actually like exercising. And with our minds, it's like doing cardio all day. The difference between a sprinter and a long distance runner, if you look at their bodies, a sprinter, they're very skinny. Their bones are clinging to their skin. Their skin is clinging to their bones. They look like they're going through cancer or something. Long distance runners, they tend to overstress their body and wear out their joints and their ligaments. But sprinters are really cut and sharp. The mind is not built to think all day. It's not built to continually think. And so what has happened due to our enslavement and colonization, we have adopted an overthinking capacity. And in turn, what it's doing is stressing our minds out. When we go to sleep, we're still thinking. When we're up, we're still thinking. When we get up in the morning, we're thinking. When we're eating, we're thinking. I hate thinking while I eat. I hate that. And I work very diligently not to think as I eat, to eat consciously, just to use my taste buds. So we have adopted society where people can't sit down with each other without talking or thinking. But you'll find that some of your closest friends and some of the friends you're meeting now are some people that you don't really have to talk with. You know, you can say a few words, and that's just coming about in today's world. The music we listen to also causes us to think because it has lyrics and it has fond memories. So moving into music that doesn't have lyrics, moving into music that is pure frequency based is very important in these days to stop your mind from thinking. Thinking also when you experience bad things and good things, your nervous system through stimulus leaves byproducts like the nerves leave boo boo and pee pee, in other words. And one of the best ways to detox the brain and the nervous system is silencing the mind. Normally, after I say something, normally people tend to keep thinking about what I'm saying, but I would rather you not think about it at all. So peace of mind is something that's talked about in most religions, but there's no practical integration of peace of mind within a lot of our religions um, of the past. One thing I'm discovering about the mind in general is that we are using it wrong. We're not tapping into the ability to become present and what that entails. A man once asked Buddha, he said, what have you gained from meditation? And Buddha said, absolutely nothing. Buddha said he didn't gain anything from meditating. And this is the guy who's known for meditating to the point to where he felt a deep connection with God 24/7, nonstop to the day he died. He never lost his connection to God. And that's why people respected Buddha. And he said he gained nothing from meditation, but what he did lose was greed, lust, delusion, attachment, and there was a couple other. Oh, aversion, dislike of things. And so we have been conditioned to accept the fact that our mind has these cravings, has these desires, have these attachments, and we've been conditioned to constantly judge ourselves and judge other people based on traits we inherited and built by habit. And one of the only ways and one of the best ways to detach from your behaviors is to stop making judgments in your mind about yourself. They call it the agape love. And so I learned one of the things I realized through studying Eastern philosophy, that this agape love, this unconditional love, is love that you have for yourself. Love that you have for not just your physical self, but your God self, your entire self, which is the present moment. The present moment is your entire self. You are not the body and you're not the flesh. You're not an invisible spirit. You're actually all the creation happened in an individual expression. And that agape love wasn't talking about unconditionally loving other people, because that's like impossible. It's impossible to unconditionally love your children and your wife, because at times they can fail you. Unconditional love deals with loving yourself, and not just your physical body self, but the entire creation as yourself. So with Tibetan bowls, you feel closer to the present moment because you're not identifying with the thoughts that are going on inside your head. You're not identifying just with the five senses. It's important to train your mind not to become happy because of external stimulus. All my life I heard, do what makes you happy. Do what makes you happy, or be happy, but they never told us that this concept of being happy comes from spiritual gurus and ascended ancestors who knew how to be happy just by existing alone, not off of physical stimulus. So we have to untrain our minds and retrain our minds to be happy for absolutely no reason at all. That's something I found with the Tibetan bowl. The Tibetan bowl brings me in the present, and in the present, I can make a choice to be happy for absolutely no reason, and then chase that high. You can chase happiness with no stimulus, and it was something that I was ignoring. I knew that's what Jesus was doing. I knew that's what Buddha was doing, but I didn't understand it because nobody explained it as such. It's pretty much be happy for no reason and go a whole 24 hours and see when does that happiness break. What tragedy or what social judgment or what thought will come your head and steal your happiness. You'll find most of the time it's not people who are stealing your happiness. It's your programming. And so that's something I gained from the Tibetan bowl. was that ability to tap into the present, and then carry that. You want to carry the echo with you through every moment, and that will constantly remind you of your God self when you have a consistent echo playing in your head. Even smiling is an echo. When somebody makes you angry, it's an echo, and it doesn't stop echoing until it calms down. So there's ways of disrupting these negative echoes that happen in your life. We also find that a lot of our clients are they're suffering from a lot of stress. A lot of our clients are suffering from not getting good sleep, suffering from depression, loss of family members, and there's really no practical way to cut off the negativity without some type of distraction. So one thing I'm learning about the Eastern healing modalities are being able to cut off negative vibrations within an instant, or reinterpretation of negative events. The Bible says all things work together for the good for those who are called according to God's purpose. And in actuality, everybody's called for God's purpose, but not everybody realizes it in this lifetime. So all things, even the worst scenarios, have to be reinterpreted into good scenarios. Your girlfriend cheated on you, had to be reinterpreted. You lost your job, has to be reinterpreted, because there's nothing that happens without the Creator. So the whole point of getting back to Eden, the whole point of getting back to Africa, is to reestablish a connection with the Creator outside of external stimulus. You know, and that's something I'm really seeing with my clients. It's what we're guiding our clients into, is into more meditation, more emphasized good music, more frequency healing. We want people to be able to do this themselves. We don't want people to be reliant on preachers and priests and doctors for their happiness. We want you to be able to control your own mind.
Chewbacca, I have a question. You just talked about, right, but you just talked about that self and basically a responsibility for the person to do the work of thinking positive thoughts, of assisting in healing their body. And many people, they've never heard anything like that.
Yeah.
So go ahead and tell us more about the expectation that you can participate in healing yourself, or changing your mood, or changing the vibrations around yourself.
Okay. So first of all, you need to realize that you are the Creator, that you are a son of God. Some of the philosophy restructures your mind so that when you go through events, you reinterpret negative events. By reinterpreting negative events in the moment, you automatically de-stress yourself. So if somebody says something nasty to you, and you be like, "Oh, that's God talking," God has a message for me. Reinterpret the negative event. It allows for your blood vessels. Your blood vessels, when they're stressed, they're like this. But when they're relaxed, they're like this. When your blood vessels are like this, your blood flows through your body and allows for nutrients to enter into your cells. So by reinterpreting events, by not becoming stressed out, you can actually start healing your body. So once you get to a neutral space, once you start reinterpreting events and you don't see anything as bad or good, you have to then build on top of that emptiness. It said that God created from a void, and he said everything was good. So we have to at least get to the void before the creation happens. And so what we do, we by breathing, by focusing on what's going on inside your body through conscious awareness, by mindfulness, you actually start the healing process. You have two parts of your they say of your nervous system. I think it's parasympathetic and a sympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic is called rest and digest. Am I correct?
Okay. Yeah, but repeat that because we're having some technical difficulties. So as you were saying it, it was breaking up. So just repeat it again.
Okay, so the nervous system has
parasympathetic.
Yes, it's called rest and digest, if I'm correct. And then you have the sympathetic nervous system. That's called I think it's like fight or flight, or it's like active. It controls your active part of your body. And so when you sit still, the Bible says, "Be still and know that I am God." And the word "be still" means Rapha, which is in Hebrew to be healed. And so when King David says, "Be still and know that I'm God," healing happens in stillness. Both physical and mental stillness puts your body into the parasympathetic nervous system and allows you to start resting and digesting. It curbs the appetite. You're not as hungry when you meditate. When you sit still and you breathe, when your body relaxes, it allows for you to digest the food already in your body, which is better for you than to go eat more food. So healing yourself also deals with controlling, food cravings. When you sit still, you start controlling your lust. A lot of times your lust, it carries you forward. It keeps you going. I got to get the next hit. And that could be TV. That could be women. That could be money. When you start sitting still and separating from the external world through stillness, that's when you start connecting to your divine self. And that's what starts healing your body. It starts DNA transformation, epigenetics. The scientists, they used to tell y'all that, and my parents and your parents, that you're predisposed to diabetes, you're predisposed to leukemia. But then scientists came out and said, well, we got epigenetics, which means that you can manipulate your genes, yourself, through behaviors. Well, one of the behaviors that we're not experimenting with is meditation. If you put your body into rest on purpose, you then start controlling your desires, your lust, your habits. Oh, your father was an alcoholic, so you're an alcoholic. Well, you don't want to drink because it doesn't make you happy anymore. You don't want women because it doesn't make you happy anymore. Meditation separates you from the physical behaviors that you had to learn being indoctrinated in the system. And it gives you a direct connection to God. So to be practical, one of the things you do when you meditate is you sit up in good posture. You keep your back straight.
Okay.
You keep your back straight.
Okay.
It's best to sit on a pillow for beginners.
Okay.
A lot of times you can do hip stretches. So when you sit in crisscross, it allows your hips to relax and open up. But you want your knees need to be below your hips. And so when you sit in meditation, you can hold a mudra. Wow. You just rest your hands on your knees, and You take a breath.
Okay.
So when you breathe in, you notice that the air going in is cool, and when you breathe out, you notice that the air coming out is warm. And as you breathe, I want y'all to listen. Any thought that comes in your head, you just go back to your breath. One of the best ways to stay in meditation is to close your eyes. Another way to stay in meditation is to put your focus also on your ears. When you breathe through your nose, it's important to bring the breath into your belly. In today's world, we do something called chest breathing. Instead of breathing in your chest, I want you to breathe into your lower abdomen. And so we're going to do 3 breaths. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to count in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. So I want y'all to follow my words and then breathe accordingly. And we're going to do that for 3 rounds. All right. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. There's another term in the Bible called jasher. It's called upright. It says that Job was a upright man before Yah. And the term upright, this is how I interpret it, has a lot to do with posture. But it's also about character. You want your spine to be upright, and you want your spine to be aligned. That allows for your spine to tap into the feeling of gravity. You have to realize that the lower part of your body is denser than the higher part of your body. And so by keeping your spine in line, you're allowing your body to be the spine to be in the right position in order to allow the energy from your root chakra to push up to the crown chakra. Also, you'll find with having your spine aligned, you'll be able to stay in meditation longer. I would encourage you not to sit Indian style. It took me a long time to realize this. I had to watch some videos and figure this out. The best way to get comfortable in meditation is to make sure your knees are below your hip. So sitting on a pillow is very important. For other people, sitting in a chair is a good idea too. For me, I can't lay down meditating. I'm not good with laying down and meditating. I normally fall asleep when I lay down flat and meditate. But sitting up allows you to have the right focus and relaxation at the same time. Meditation is a duality between tension and relaxation. As people, if you go back millions of years when we were, super gods and doing all the magic and, teleporting all that stuff, one of our fundamental capabilities was to sit still for long periods of time. We're talking about weeks, months. People stay in meditation for long durations of time. We know right now in India and in Nepal, we have Buddhist meditation retreats that last 10 days, 7 days, where there's no talking and people just sit still. Before we enter into the society, we really have to think, what were our shamans doing in the woods? What were our priests doing in these temples? What is the true capabilities of our bodies? This is why Jesus was like, you're part of the order of Melchizedek. You're a priest and kings yourself. So you have to adopt the culture of the priest itself. You have to adopt the culture of the shaman and the witch doctor, because they were in direct connection with the creator through isolation from external distractions. These people were able to go out 40 days, 40 nights, Moses, Jesus, Elijah, and be without food and water, without distraction. And even when they entered into towns and cities, they still brought their peace with them. And so we have to what does it mean to be a king and priest? And it's talking about the mind. It's talking about your ability to enter into the kingdom of heaven through bringing your mind into what the Bible calls a peace that passes all understanding. People, I don't know if y'all see this, but you go out in public, sometimes people try to steal your joy by looking you in your eyes, or they try to steal your joy by throwing like these faces at you, these looks they give you. And if you're happy, or if you find happiness, sometimes you'll try to hide your happiness. You'll try to like hold it in, and not, and just like and not let anybody know that you're happy. Or if you're sometimes you've ever been at a job where if you're having a good day, your coworkers may come in and try to snatch your joy. So I think we've been conditioned to hide our happiness, but we have to push it to another level where our happiness can't be taken anywhere. And we read the Bible and they talk about the apostles singing in jail, celebrating after getting lashed. All these things are what the ancient people were able to not be controlled by their central nervous system. And I think that we today are struggling with happiness because we're conditioned to feel what everybody else is feeling. And I'll give you an example. Sometimes I see the poor children on the street and they ask me for money, and I give them a smile and I tell them no. And I'm genuine. I'm super happy because by the time they look at me, they ask me for the money, because I'm like the one person on the street who's not mugging, because you have to have an angry face to deter people from asking you for stuff. So, a silver and gold have I none, man, know, but when I look into that boy's eyes, I can tell he's happy. He's only in a particular moment behaving unhappy to trigger a response in me. But I know it's deeper than that. And I don't fool myself into saying, okay, this child right here is so poor and unhappy, because it's the unhappiness that make you give it to him. If that boy was super happy, people have to pretend to be unhappy to make you give to them. So people have learned to tap into other people's emotions in order to trigger them.
Interesting.
So even with poverty, you have to be like, you look at that boy, his mother over there, they're trying to hide the bread so they can ask you for money. They're trying to hide the bread. They happy, they playing, and then when they see you, they frown. I was in Ghana. I remember being on the beach in I think it was like Jamestown or something. No, Libati Beach in Ghana. And I remember the boys, they were butt naked, playing on the beach with sand on their bodies, rolling in the sand, laughing. And then when they saw me and my brothers walking through, they jumped up out the sand and they start frowning and start asking for money. They're asking for money. They're like, you know, and we was like, dude, you're in heaven. You're in heaven. You're in the dirt. You're in your own Eden until I walk by. And it's not to say that these people don't have needs, but you're gonna have to like experiment with your own mind. You have to practice with your own mind to see what is its limitations, what's going to actually take this from you. You have to be able to catch it when the moment that is happening. And what it does, it builds your resilience to stay happy without being triggered.
Wow. Well, you've definitely shared a lot with us. And, you know, sometimes I wanted to just stop you and say that again. Did you all get that? Did you hear that? Because you talked about being a priest and king when you can bring your own joy and peace of mind with you wherever you go, and that it's your peace and your joy should not be driven by events or what's happening to you or what's going on when you arrive.
Never. The Bible says something else in
so
Galatians.
How long did it take you?
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was about to say Galatians 5,
no,
22.
I said, how long did it take you? Go ahead, Galatians 5:22.
Love, joy, peace, meekness, gentleness, kindness, long-suffering, and temperance. Against these, there is no law. So what he was saying is that you don't have to be a part of any organization. As long as you have the fruits of the Spirit, there's nothing that can judge you. There's no law against them. These people weren't a part of churches like we have today. There's no law against them. Now, please ask your question.
You've definitely given our audience a lot to think about.
Mm-hmm.
No, you've given our audience a lot to think about. I did ask everybody, and I wanted them to tell us, do they do meditation? Have they experienced the Tibetan bowls? And we're going to continue this dialogue throughout the week on our social media pages, Queen Mother Speaks page, Teresa Kemp Authors page, Rakaya's page, so that people get the opportunity to talk to us about their experiences. We're a group of friends that get together on a weekly basis. So if somebody just needs to call and vent, or if you need a shoulder to cry on, we're here. And Queen Mother and I have been doing that a long time. And Rakaya has realized the need for groups of people to come together and have a dialogue on healing and diabetes and health, so that she's trying to coach you into returning your body to a healthy state. So we didn't find out. Is it okay to ask you how old you are?
It's
31.
Okay. And how long have you, well, I guess you've been on this journey for a lifetime, but how long did it take you to arrive at these thoughts of where you are now? Did it evolve? Did it come in one day? Have you been practicing a long time or journeying a long time?
It's been a long time, bits and pieces. I would say that when I was a child, I used to ask questions about how did the people in the Bible, you know, the followers of Christ, I used to ask, how did they survive the trauma they were going through? And, you know, how were they getting martyred and crucified and hung upside down and lashed? I used to always question, like, why can't that today? So that led me to studies into Indian religion and Buddhism, where Buddhists and yogis have surpassed their nervous systems, their physical limitations. Then the last, so I've been asking these questions since I was a child. In college, I was studying religion, so I was asking these questions in college around 2011, 2018. And then I really started delving into meditation when my boys were born, like really deeply. like I needed it more. When my boys were born in 2022, in February 2022, I started being more habitual with my meditation, and I started pushing the time limits and the extremes on my meditation. So like I would start meditating outside versus meditating inside. I started like testing like what was acceptable for myself as far as like meditating in what places. And since I've been here in Kenya, since I've been exposed to the Hindu community, I've been delving even deeper into my meditation through a lot of the groups out here. So I've been able to practice it more efficiently being here in Kenya.
Brother Tabbacha,
go ahead.
Could you share a little bit about the process of the Tibetan bowls and dealing with mental illness and the trauma, the extreme trauma that that all of us are facing in the Western culture? How that would really help us in terms of balancing our mind as it relates to mental illness, because as you are aware, there's an increase in the African American community with mental illness, suffering from mental illnesses.
Okay, so you have to realize if you have a mental illness, I was alcoholic and I was a heavy weed smoker until I started really delving into my healing. I used to drink a lot of alcohol. My wife was a flight attendant, and I was dealing with a lot of trauma from, I guess, just being a black man in America, expectations of the world, how I was supposed to be at this point in my life, but college wasn't working out. Getting a job was hard. Switching up career fields, so I was suffering through depression, unworthiness. I used to cry to sleep some nights, and what I had to do, I had to slowly change my life, change my mind. A lot of your trauma is actually in your organs. If you're having depression, you're having trouble with your digestion. You're having trouble with your spleen. You're having trouble, if you're angry, you're having trouble with your liver. And so one thing the Tibetan bowls will do, they'll assist you in your meditation process. Meditation comes from medicine. This is self-healing. You have to make an effort towards this. And when you make an effort, then the universe will make the other effort. We're talking about trauma. We're talking about funny glares you're getting. So even though you're suffering your own trauma, you'll go outside and you'll relive your trauma through society reinforcing it. So there has to be a place you can go where you're just in nothing, where there's no good, there's no bad. You're not a sinner, you're not righteous. You have to transcend good and evil in order to start healing some of your trauma. So I would say that one of the things that's super important is when you meditate, smiling. Because when you smile and when you laugh, when you smile and you laugh, you trigger your body to heal. And so for practical purposes, everybody, you put your hands out. You open your chest, expose your heart. When an animal has to face an enemy, an animal has to expose their most vital organ to that enemy. And that's a sign of courage. Put your heart out and you ha 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 ha. And so
I actually needed that.
So yes.
So what you want to do, you want to trigger your own happiness without stimulus, and it's super addictive. When you want to make yourself happy for no reason possible. So when you meditate, you close your eyes. With your eyes open, remember this, with your eyes open, Your eyes judge everything, good and bad. Your eyes are constantly at work feeding you messages, and those messages they feed you are being stored in their words. They're being compared. Everything you see is being compared to the next thing. That's taking energy from you. So closing your eyes or staring, closing your eyes allow for you to shut off your eyes, and that immediately calms the body down. You're saving energy. So when you close your eyes, it allows for your body to save energy, which is then used to heal other parts of your body. We lose a lot of energy, and you know it. You lose a lot of energy on what you see every day. And so we're talking about trauma. So if you're reliving a racist America, if you're reliving your ancestors' troubles, close your eyes. Close your eyes. Smile. You have to go back to black, the darkness. You have to go back to the source. And then you have to sit inside the darkness and then don't think. All right. And then using music is important because it can stop the thought echoes going in your head. There's a lot of thinking echoes going on. And so you want to stop the voice in your head from echoing and reverberating throughout, bouncing off the walls. You'll find that Daniel prayed with his window open. If you are outside, you'll feel your mind expand into that space. If you're in a room, you'll feel your mind expand into that room, and you'll feel it stop. So opening your window, grounding while you meditate, being outside and doing it outside is helpful. But if you're inside, remember, God put us in the garden. He put us in Eden. So when we was in the garden, it says, behold, I see man as trees. That's what the man said when Jesus healed his eyes. We were trees. We were able to be planted in the ground, and we was able to expand our consciousness through the garden. So we also would hear sounds like crickets, frogs, birds, and those sounds actually start the healing process. So what's important is to bring music into your life that's not lyrical music. Enough lyrical music has, got us baby mamas and got us, in trouble at the club. Enough music, enough lyrics done ruin our marriages, and we got these songs in our head connected to our divorces. So we need music that doesn't have lyrics. We need music without lyrics. We need harps. Say David played the harp. We need flute. We need drums. Mm-hmm. We need violins. I even meditate to jazz, saxophone jazz. We need music without lyrics. So if you're going to meditate inside, I encourage, if your mind is not to a place where it can't go without sound, I encourage using sound. And what this will do, it will start changing your emotional vibration. You'll find yourself not getting angry. You'll find yourself not lusting. You'll find yourself being okay alone. And then what I'm working towards, and what a lot of our community is working towards, is what we call salvation or bliss. It's called it's when you connect with God to the point you don't have to come back down to a state of ignorance anymore. That's what we're trying to reach, where we're 24/7. It says no principality, no power, no height, no angel, no devil. Nothing will separate you from the love of God anymore. This is what Buddha, that's what they talk about when Buddhists reach enlightenment. And so when you're enlightened, a guru told me, you heal 7 generations below you, 7 generations above you. You got to ask yourself, how do people walk to the cross? How do Buddhist monks burn themselves to death in meditation for protest? How are people just walking to their death? And one of those things that they have reached within themselves is a pure connection with God. There's no church, there's no religion, there's no law that can separate a man when he connects with God and he understands he's connected at all times and all places. and through everything. The Father who's above all, through you all, and in you all. He's in everything. He's above everything. He's through everything. Meditation is going to help you remove your trauma by connecting to the God who's always there.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
Wow. Let me just,
very true.
Let me, if I may. Thank you. Just want to open up the mic for a moment and say that you have given us so much. And geez, it's a lot to take in. So, Tabbacha, we are going to have you back on the show, and we'll be speaking to specific areas of healing.
Okay.
Inside of using the Tibetan bowl and the breathing. And as
Queen,
you well know on the Queen show, we always have a breathing session, but there's just so much more that we can do for ourselves instead of running to the doctor and getting medications all the time.
Queen,
more that we can do.
Queen, could you have him touch on fasting? One tip. Could you touch on fasting, please, Tabbacha?
Say that again.
Could you touch on the importance and relevance of fasting?
Say it again, Rakaya.
Oh. Okay. Okay, so fasting, like I said, I was dealing with alcoholism and addiction to weed. And but I did a dry fast. And I dry fasted for 3 days while going to work at a construction job. I ain't gonna say I was the best worker there, but what I realized is that when you start fasting, you start feeding on your own energy and you start purifying your own energy. So by day 3, I would breathe in my own sweat, and I would be feeling hydrated from drinking my own sweat through my nose. I was breathing in my own moisture and I enjoyed it. You start to get high on yourself. You fast for 3 days, you might experience, it depends on what you're doing. When I fast, I stay active. It says Jesus said when you fast, anoint your head and pretend like you ain't fasting. That's very hard. But what I could do was I could move while I fast. I encourage when you fast, doing light aerobics, maybe light cardio, running in place, yoga, nothing too heavy. But like at least 3 times a day, do a light exercise while you fast. Because what it's going to do is going to allow you to circulate your own energy. Fasting, you also have to build tolerance. So if you're not used to fasting, I would say start off with just 12 hours and then push it to 16, then 18, then 24. If you can get 1 day fasting, you can do 2 days fasting. And so I say with fasting, just work with yourself and set a fasting schedule. When I got done with my 3-day fast, I didn't smoke weed anymore. I wasn't drinking anymore like I used to. I still get to drink every once in a while, but I needed alcohol. I needed weed. And so I also became very serene and peaceful. And I had like a trust that I never had before. I could trust in the universe I never had before. After I had got done with my 3-day fast. And I did at least 3 of these 3-day fasts while working. So fasting is easier when you're doing things. It's easier. If you're going to fast, I say just sitting at home and doing the fast it's a little bit harder to sit at home and do a fast. If you have something to do, then I would do what you got to do and fast at the same time. Oh yeah, and the healing benefits of fasting.
We have a question from a viewer about the benefits of fasting.
Okay. So one of the benefits of fasting.
What do you feel are the benefits of?
Okay. So the benefits of fasting, when your body stops digesting food, the energy inside your digestive system, it flows to your nervous system. The nervous system is where your trauma is. they did studies and they figured out that people who have body pains, accidents from years ago. So like say you get in a car accident and you have a body pain and they're like, oh, it's my muscles hurt, my back hurt. It's actually your nerves are holding on to the pain of the trauma of the accident. So your tissues have literally healed, but your nervous system is in a negative feed loop. It's in a negative feed loop. And so your nervous system, it needs a break. Your nervous system needs the energy to leave your digestive system, and it needs energy to flow to the nervous system. Okay. And when you stop eating, it allows I healed my wife. She had an ulcer. She was passing blood in her stool one time, and she was also spitting up blood. And it was just an ulcer. Her stomach acid got too strong. I put her on a 1-day fast, and it fixed it. It allows your pancreas, like a lot of people have diabetes. And you know, well, why you have diabetes? You haven't gave your digestive system a rest. You know, why do you have a fatty liver? Well, if you stop eating, then your body's gonna eat the fat off the liver. You know, these are in your religions. You know, we just haven't been taught. You know, when I was growing up, it was a big thing about, oh, we don't have to fast no more because, you know, Jesus did it for us. So he just did everything spiritual for us. You know, we don't have to fast. So we didn't learn it through our spiritual education, but all of Jesus' disciples had to learn it. You know, and so it's up to us to experiment with our own bodies, learn our own bodies. Fasting will allow you to heal your organs and your nervous trauma.
The purpose of my asking the question was because in Egypt, the way that the Egyptians built the pyramids was that they were breatharians and they fasted. Fasted for 4 days and they used the breath to live off the land for the remainder of the days. So they fasted profusely and they used their breathing as their food. And the one thing that I would like everyone to really understand is that we don't need 3 square meals a day. We must come to this understanding that we are really organs and we're eating a little bit too much. And so fasting
a little bit,
fasting will enable you to control those desires and really get a hold of your other stuff. Organs cannot work that much. It's really, that's part of your disease, and that is overeating is what's causing your body to be toxic and acidic. And your body, you cannot, no disease can coexist in a body of alkaline. It has to be alkaline, pH 7 or more. There is no disease that can dance in that body. And so ultimately I pray and hope. Tabaka, thank you so much. And I hope that we will have some more discussions. I really want us to begin talking about this because we have a little situation here in America with this diabetes, which is a self-imposed disease, and we must arrest our addictions. We must be willing to take the necessary steps that is required so that our bodies will be healed. Thank you so much. And back to you, Queen. Back to you, Queen. I'm sorry. I just have to ensure that he got fasting in. Fasting is so... America wants us to believe that we no longer have to fast. But fasting for melanated people, it's critical. Fasting is essential.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers
and exercise and positive thoughts.
I want to say to you that on this first show of the new year, we are now actually approaching more like 90 minutes instead of 60 minutes. And what the Queen Mother Show does is we like to bring you conversations that matter. Do you think that this conversation has mattered? Because we're going to ask Tabaka some of the things he shared with us, if he would write them down so that we can be posting them during the week on the site. Because when you get this much knowledge, it's like you thirst and you hunger for more. But we are going to have him back. I'm going to talk to him about maybe even doing a segment where so many times during the season, he brings us information in this way. Okay, Tabaka, we thank you for that. Now, one thing I do want to say is one of the things we were planning to do on today's show was to let those people who've made New Year's resolutions or those people who've got a change of attitude or just talk about what it is they want to do for the new year. We're going to take that into another show. We don't have to stress you out for staying on this one too long, but we're promising you here today, we will have Tabaka to come back on the Queen Mother Speak show. And next week, we're going to hear those resolutions and we're going to hear those attitudes and what people are doing for themselves and with themselves. And you know what you can do in the new year? You can tell us what you want. What do you want to hear about? What topics interest you? Ladies, we're about to end the show for today. Tabaka, your closing words, and then we'll have closing words from Nana and Rakaya. Tabaka?
Yes, peace and love journey. And love on your journey, everybody. And just be easy with yourself. If you decide to choose to meditate, just work on just 5 minutes and then 10 minutes. It's important for you to sit still with your mind. My parents, not my mother, but my father, my grandparents, they were used to TVs or having the stereo on. And I think we have to reduce those noises, and we have to start listening to the sounds of nature. The Creator made nature, and I think that we're too involved into the news and into gossip. So pulling back from global politics, just centering yourself within and trust. It deals with trust. So just trust. If you're able to silence your mind, or if you're able to even take the attempt to silence your mind, it shows how much you trust the Creator and shows that you trust the body He gave you by going into it and being with it. And be easy with yourself. Any thoughts that you have, there's no sin that can't be forgiven. A lot of stuff, man. Once you clear out your mind and become in peace, you're gonna die in peace. And when you die in peace, there's no judgment. You live as you die. So if you die stressed, you're gonna be stressed out when you die. And that's another topic. But if you die in peace, you will live. You will continue on in the spiritual world in peace. That's why it's so important. You can't be stressed out and hope that you're gonna die and go to heaven. You have to create heaven in your mind against all circumstances. You have to create heaven in your mind against any circumstances. Nobody is exempt from this law. You can die and you can surpass the judgment. That's also in the Egyptian literature. So, the Hall of Osiris, you're going to get to judgment, and there's going to be some people sitting on the throne. They're going to look like you, and you're going to be judging yourself. So, go ahead and get into peace before you die.
Oh, that is quite a closing statement for us today. Go ahead and get into peace before you die. Ladies, let's all say that. Go ahead. Yes. All of us, let's say it together. And we're saying this to our audience. Go ahead.
And get into peace.
Get into peace. Before
you die.
Before you die.
Wow, that's a fabulous, a wonderful, a emotional, it's also a touching way to end the first show of the Queen Mother Speak show. Now remember, there's a lot of things we were bringing to you today that didn't happen. That's okay. This is just the first day of the show for the new year. So look forward to great, great things. Let's do as we always do. We like to give a kiss to our audience, a kiss of love, because we don't know what you've been dealing with and what's been going on, but we know one thing for sure, that love is the most touching healing force and the most powerful healing force in the world. So let us now blow our kiss. We start off with the left hand, then the right hand, and then, of course, both hands. Are we ready? We're going to do it together. We're going to do it together. We're going to send out this collective love right here, right now. Ladies, I'm so glad that you were here today to be with Queen Mother with a lot of stuff going on this end. We'll pray about it and chat about it at another time. And Tabbacha, Queen Mother is just excited to have you here and teach us in the way that you have. We honor you. We respect you. We love you. And we want to do everything we can to put you before more audiences so we can all begin to learn how to deal with ourselves versus choosing to always take medicines and things of that sort. Look how much you learned today. And there's much more. So let us have some of that we can post in the chat. And we're going to send out that New Year's love right now. Left hand first. 1, 2, let's go. Okay, right hand.
She's a slow kisser, Tabbacha.
Tabbacha also has twins. Tabbacha produced twins. Okay.
I got you. Okay.
Let's do it.
I have twins too.
I want to thank his family for allowing
What are these days we're going to do a show about twins? How about that? Can we do that?
Yes.
Show about twins.
Yeah.
This is Queen Mother Speaks every Wednesday, every week.
We want to thank you, Tabbacha.
Live at 5 p.m. Kenya time, 2 p.m. Ghana time, 9 a.m. New York time, and 6 a.m. California time. And we certainly hope that Michael ADISA Anderson will be with us next week from California. Closing statements. Go right ahead. Queen Mother's done. I want to say happy birthday to Lady Mo. My sister Lady Mo. Happy
birthday, Lady Mo.
Happy birthday.
I want to thank Queen Mother Speaks and all my Facebook family and friends who have been sending their prayers and hitting me up on Facebook. I really appreciate it. They've been with me through the journey. I have shared it, and I shared it because other people need to know.
What's that word you just used? You said you just what?
I shared my experience of my mom and her journey because we need to know. Evidently and apparently, this is something that we do not talk about in the African American community and Latinos. We do not want to accept death. We do not talk about it. We don't prepare. We don't know anything. We don't know what's going on. And so it's been my mom prepared everything. Everything was in order, and all we had to do was execute. The homegoing celebration will be tomorrow in Brooklyn at the Triumphant Tabernacle on Rutland and Remington Avenue. Those who live in Brooklyn know everything has been posted, and the repast and the interment will be in Elizabeth Cemetery in New Jersey, and the interment will be at the Tropical on Utica and I believe Avenue D or something like that. But anyway, everything is listed. You're invited. Come on out. And I thank you so much, Queen Mother and Adesua, and everyone that has really held me up. And so I'm being held up, and I am strong because my mother was strong. I cannot be weak because my mother showed courage in her suffering. And so I have nothing to talk about.
All right.
Thank you so much, Queen Nana. And meaning that I have no complaints. There will be no justification for me to sit here and cry or complain about this present process.
Right.
I accept gracefully.
So we've learned from this show that
Hallelujah.
there's a few things that we want to do. We want to do a show dealing with death. And based on what Coach Rogers shared with us, we're definitely going to have Tabbacha to come back. And then we're going to do another show that deals with sleep, and another show, just spending the show dealing with these subjects so we can fully delve into it. Let us know what you want to hear. Nana.
Don't leave out fasting. We need a show about fasting.
Okay. Well, write in your request.
I'm gonna let me say this. And the reason why I'm going to ask Tabbacha to share about fasting, because that is one of the best kept secrets that they do not want us to find out about. Because if we fast, I am telling you, we will be mentally liberated forever. Fasting, the best secret. But we'll talk about it, right, Tabbacha? We're going to talk about it. Fasting.
It's deep.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Unlimited.
Happy New
potential.
Year. Happy love. Happy life. Happy
I
New Year.
50 pounds
We
with
hope you were taking
intermittent
some of this
fasting. I wasn't
information
even
and
on
using it.
Huh?
Nana, close us out.
What? No, Nana's trying to ask me something.
I brought. No, I was trying to tell you and share with you all that I dropped 50 pounds doing intermittent fasting. That's not even a total fast. And I also wanted to remind everybody that I am in Ohio, and this is a link for the Gym and Mineral Show that I'm going to be doing at the Ohio Historical Center in Columbus, Ohio. I also wanted to add that when you said Brooklyn, you have to say Brooklyn, New York in the United States, because our viewers are all over the world, and there's over 150 Brooklyns.
Wait a minute.
I also wanted to tell everybody we thank you for watching.
We're gonna zoom
Happy
it.
New Year.
I'll send you guys a link. We're gonna zoom it. We're gonna zoom the homegoing celebration. I'll send you guys the link.
Thank you all. Right. Thank you for bearing
Close
with
us
us
out,
on
Nana.
our technical difficulties, but communications all across the world have been challenging over the holidays because so many people are online. We thank you for watching Queen Mother Speaks today, every Wednesday, live at 5 in Kenya, 9 a.m. in New York because we're on daylight savings time. And be sure to like, comment, and share. Everybody hug yourself. Make sure to check on your elders, check on the children. And as Tabbacha shared with us, guess what? Quit saying negative things to yourself. Quit being so judgmental with yourself. And we will see you again next Wednesday. Take care. We love you.
Happy New Year.